welcome back. I'm here to review the third episode of God of Highschool. So, this one, I make sure to take notes so I don't forget certain things. Alright, so in this episode, we begin shortly after the events of the last episode. This is where the commissioners are talking about whether or not Mori Jin should be disqualified or participate. And it differs from the webtoon, of course, like everything else that happened in the other episodes. Well, not everything, but most things. And in this one, they decide for him to fight Q. He's a commissioner with the green hair. He's the one that recruited Han. And what else? Oh, he has like a rivalry with R, which is the one that Mori Jin wants to fight. He was like, no, I want to fight the blonde guy because he's the one I want to fight. That's the only one he actually knew was strong, from when he was recruiting him. So Q was like, no, I'm stronger, and he hits Mori Jin. Mori Jin just gets sent back, but he comes back like unfazed. So he was like, all right, I'll fight you, but yeah, take off the glasses. And the guy goes, what? Because he doesn't want to fight no one with glasses, So eventually he settles with, okay, I'll fight you, and the match is going to be the next day. So right before he leaves, he's given a bag of fruits from Mujin Park. And Mujin, there's a few things that differs from the webtoons here, because in the webtoons he doesn't leave, they keep him at the facility, and they actually call his grandfather in the webtoons, and his grandfather was pretty much like, I don't care, you have my grandson, so you mess with him, he's gonna break your bones. That's basically what it was. And then and then he hangs up right there. But that's in the webtoons. In here, Mujin Park just lets him go because he seems like he wants to fight, kind of thing. So he meets up with Han and Mira while they were walking, and he surprised Mira because she was talking about him, and then he was like, who's in idiot kind of thing, right behind her. And you might notice that he's always eating a banana or want to eat a banana, and Mira called him a monkey. Was it only in the webtoons that she called him a monkey, or was it in the anime? I think it was in both. But so he goes home. He offers them some of the fruits, and they're like, nah. So he goes home, and the last fruit he has is it looks kind of like a peach, but in an orange shape, all circle, without no lumps or nothing, kind of, from the way it looks like. So he eats that, and then he starts to cough up blood. And he falls down on the ground, and he just collapsed like that until the next day. And we see Mujin Park pretty much saying that he gave it to him to test him, to see if he's really Taejin's grandson. So Mujin comes to I think it was it 10 minutes, or was that in the webtoon? Because they had a countdown in the webtoon. But he wakes up just before, no, on the TV, on his TV it was saying the countdown, and he wakes up and you just see him gets there out of breath, and he's about to fight Q. Right when the match starts, it looked like he kind of speed blitz, because he got right in Q's face. I said R, didn't I mean Q. He gets right in Q's face, takes off his glasses, and then puts his leg behind Q's leg, one of his legs, and then push him. He falls down. Everyone in the stadium's like, what? Nah, they rigged this. They set this up. So Q's over here getting mad. He's like, what the heck just happened? So he gets up and he goes to fight Mori Jin, and he unleashed his borrowed power. He's slicing things up, and he gets held back before Mori Jin gets killed, because he got like tied up and he was about to get killed. And like the other commissioners like grab Q and stops him from using that. And then what was it? Mori Jin was like, "What is that?" But he pretty much passed, you know, because he knocked him down. Like he passed. So there's that. But the thing that I kind of wish that they followed the webtoon on this part though, because in the actual fight, like not in the actual, like the setup to where he eats the defined fruit, he gets like confined in the facility, so he can't leave. Instead of just being sent home, he stays there and he wakes up overnight hungry. So he goes underground and he finds his door and he puts his hand to it and it says GP. It analyzes his GP, which they haven't stated what it means yet, so I'm not gonna say what it is. So it opens because his is high enough, and you see like an old man tied up like of all ropes, and he have needles all over his body. So he's like, "Oh, if you let me out of here, I'll kill any 100 people that you want." Morgan just ignores him, looking for food through this old like desk drawer thing, and he finds the fruit, the defined fruit. So he eats that, and the old guy's like, "No, don't eat that." He eats it, and it fills him up. He gets like no side effects right there. And then the old man was like, "Wait, don't leave. Like, let me out." And he goes, "Okay, how?" He's like, "Oh, you had to use that computer over there. The password is I forgot." And then like he just gets like he puts his name incorrect. He put his grandfather's name correct, and he lets the guys out. He's like, "That's not something you could just guess. How do you know who that is?" He's like, "Oh, that's my grandfather." And then the old man just gets like mad, and then because you get to see it from the like like, and then he calls Morgan. He's like, "Hey," and he's like, "Huh?" And then he just goes. His finger goes like right to his heart, and all you see is Morgan just falls down like with the hole, small like hole right there. And then like in the next scene, you see that that the old man was gonna kill him with the needle, but then he stops. He was like, "It would be a waste of a talent." And then it shows like what really happened. You see Morgan's leg like kicks the old guy like in his stomach to push him so that the finger didn't go to his heart. So it didn't. So he pretty much was able to react to that. So Morgan wakes up in a bathroom where these two guys are just using the bathroom. He's like, "Where am I?" They're like, "In the bathroom." And then he rushes out to go to fight Q, and he makes it there just in time because they were counting down from 5 seconds. He makes it there just in time, and as he was running, his body was feeling hot from the effects of the fruit. So in there, he does the same thing pretty much. He goes to Q, takes off the glasses, push him, trips him, and push him. Q gets up, not really even angry. He's just like laughing it off, and then they start fighting. He gets beat down by Morgan, like beat down to a point where Morgan is. And then like the other commissioners were like in shocked. And then you just see like another panel was of Mujin Park meeting with the old man, and then they fight for a bit, but then eventually they go to where the arena is to see like what happened, and it was pretty much getting beat down to the point to where he used his borrow power, and in there, um, hmm, in there, yeah, he was still beating Morgan. Like he like attacked him, but he gets up after that. Like the commissioners all hold him back after like he used it to attack Morgan. Morgan gets up, still like walking towards him, and then that's when Park was gonna go up to him, but he gets stopped by R. He's like, "No, it's too dangerous." And then he goes up, and then Morgan goes, and then he gets attacked like full on punch by R, and he's like hungry, and then he gets like he's like rolling, and then like lands on the floor. And then they look at R, like all of them just look at R, like he was just saying he was hungry, and then he was like. R goes to Q and like, "Yeah, but you got knocked down like at least 3 times by him," and they all look at him. He's like, "Shut up!" And they had to hold him back because they were gonna fight. So The old man goes to Mori Jin. He's like, his heart stopped, and then he like starts to breathe again. He's like, oh well, he's alive. It's a miracle kind of thing. So they take him and like heal him up with the old man heals him up with acupuncture. That's what he does. Like that's some of his abilities and skills. And then like that's how that section ends. And then it goes on to a little bit of filler with Mira. I won't talk about that in case that's mentioned in the next episode. But for me, I rather have seen like the webtoon part of that fight, because because Morgan like lost a bit of his mental state because of the fruit while in the fight. So it would have been awesome for us to see that. And we even see at one point when they thought he was dead, there's like energy coming from his body that scared the old man. And he was the leader of the Six, which is a group of the strongest people in Korea. And Mujin Park was a part of that 17 years ago. So he's now the leader, I think, of that group, because the old man was like tied up, like training. That was his training thing. That's why he was tied up. But they didn't even show that yet in the. Well, they hinted at it in the anime, but they didn't really show it. Like that's where they got Morgan, as a Morgan. Wow, Mujin Park got the fruit pretty much. I'm pretty sure. Cause it showed like this. Oh, and we get a first look of the cult. The cult are also after Morgan's grandpa too. They have their own goals though, but it's about to get crazy. It seems like they're gonna go full. They're gonna like skip all the filler stuff and just go into the fight. So I'm interested to see if we're gonna see the old man in the next episode, because he's supposed to train Morgan a little bit for the nationals, I believe. Yeah, for the nationals. Like he trained him to use actually like pressure points. So I want to see that happen. I want to see that happen right now. I think there's gonna be, is it a month time skip? It's like around a couple of weeks to, yeah, a couple of weeks of time skip for where they train and get back into shape. I can't believe I just skipped. So I skipped Han and Bok's fight too, and I skipped Mira's fight with the professional wrestler girl Ma, is Mah, Ma. So Mira beats her, but even that happens differently in the webtoons. Mira, of course, like the same thing happened where Mira's sword couldn't do nothing to the wrestler's body, because like she trained to like hone her body so that, you know. But the things that happen differently is that in the webtoon, the wrestler picks up the wooden sword and throws it into the crowd, whereas in the anime she gets slammed down and her wooden sword just leaves her hand, like leaves the ring. At least that's how it seems to be. But Mira pretty much was able to use her like how she hurt the wrestler in the anime by using her no, unarmed sword techniques, like slashed her and blood came out. She did something similar to that in the webtoons, and it left like a scar like right here on Ma's chest, where she just barely avoided a blow. And then Ma was planning like, okay, I could take her out if I sacrifice an arm, get her in a headlock and slam her. But then she was like, even if I lose an arm, the nanobots should be able to handle that, right? And if not, I can use my wish to get it back. But then she went, wait, then that's gonna be pointless for the wish I want. She wanted like a harem of guys as the commissioners to be like her harem, pretty much. Like all the guys. So she gives up. But that's in the webtoon. In the anime, Mira just outright just takes her down. Yeah, I like the fact that Mira just took her down. I prefer the anime version of that fight for that fight. And then in Han versus Bach, there was a few things they left out, but it was ultimately the same thing that happened in the anime and webtoon. So you have a karate black belt versus a super genius. Like he has super intellect. It literally states that in the webtoon, and he was able to learn like various languages and mastered various subjects from age 4, like 3, 4, and so on. And his dad was a cop, a detective who used a bat to like take down people. And this is his backstory. I mean, it's not gonna show it now because it was supposed to already show it. His dad was eventually killed by someone who was let go from lack of evidence. So he just focused on knowledge and gaining knowledge as because knowledge equals power to him. He sees that someone in school is getting bullied, so he takes the bat that his dad used to use and he took them out. And from then, he would combine his knowledge with violence. That's why in the anime you see him say knowledge and violence, but that's more like knowledge and like strength, physical violence, pretty much. So in here, he's pretty much able to predict all of Han's moves because he already mastered um, the move sets of various martial arts. So he already knows like how they will move and stuff. So he's using that and he's just hitting Han like temple, shoulder, leg, like different places. He's even able to maneuver his bat to where it's on the ground where Han is gonna like land his feet to slip him up and get the bat back and like attack him, stuff like that. So it goes down to where they're about to both use their actual special moves because that's the only way Han could really win at this point. So Han is using, he has like 4 stances, like his 4 stances. He got stance 1, which is to he used to overpower Bach's special move, which were like spears. Like he uses the bat and the edge of it as spears to like drill into his opponents. First one, he full on attacked Han with 12 hits, and then the next one was 72. And that's the one that Han used his special move, the first stance, to destroy. And then his second stance was to break through his opponent's defense. And then the third one was, let's see. Yeah, but they did it differently in they the way it happened in the anime and webtoons at this part was different. Like the stances were the same, but you see Bach use Morjin's style against Han. So he used like the 3 triple kicks against Han, and Han was able to block, fight them back. And Mori Jin was able to actually see that in the webtoons because he was like held up there, whereas he wasn't able to in the anime because he was still knocked out. So that's something that I guess I would prefer Morgan to see that because he would have known like, okay, I gotta like change up my tactics a little bit against Han. But I could see why they didn't do it that way. But yeah, so and then his third stance, he pretty much already like overwhelmed Bach to the point where he didn't even have to use his fourth stance. Like he broke his bat and everything. He didn't have to do anything. So Han wins that round right there, and that's the last match. No. Then that's when Morgan has to fight Q after that point. So I pretty much did the whole thing like backwards, only because the Morgan versus Q part was more entertaining for me. Because I mean, like at least the way it happened in the webtoons, because you see him go a bit more, badass. Like he actually like goes in on him. But anyways, this is getting to be a long video. So tell me what you thought about the episode. If you prefer, if they did something from the webtoons compared to the anime, like I described the difference. Like, would you prefer the anime version or the webtoon for certain fights, or if you just like it how it was? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment, please. Tell me how we doing on this channel. If you want me to do any other Naruto videos that or Dragon Ball Z videos. My memory for Bleach isn't that great compared to it is with Naruto though. I could do Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter. Yu Yu Hakusho. I would probably have to just reread it or rewatch it to talk about certain things. But ooh, verse battles. Verse battles for Naruto. Get it done. Leave them down in the comment section. Let's get it.